Time, mostly time.
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 Time. Time.
Hi, welcome this week's The Naked Doctor. I'm Dr. Tammy.
And I'm Crystal.
We have a great show for you. We're doing a 4-part series on our Unstoppable series. And we're interviewing women and we're finding how to get up under the hood of having our best life.
Right. Let's break it down.
Breaking it down. And so a lot of what we use are the dirty word excuse.
Ugh, it's the awful word. There's multiple excuses too. It's like 20 dirty words on one.
There are the most common in all our interviews that we've done with the women that we've talked to.
Right. Time.
Time.
That is the number one answer.
Yes. So on today's show, we're going to find out where you're spending your time and also talk about what that dirty word excuse is, or now our new dirty word is time. We're going to talk about what that does. It keeps you safe.
Right.
Because if you have that reason, and we won't use the word excuse because that is a failure in of itself.
Right.
So if you have a reason, a justification, you're in a much better place.
I have to take my kid to softball practice. I can't.
Yeah.
I have a reason.
Yeah.
It's not an excuse because my kid has to get to softball practice. It's a reason.
Yeah. In our last show, we did the interviews that we pulled. It was really interesting because the one girl who wanted to go back to school to get her master's degree, she caught herself. She said time. And then she actually said, well, I had kids.
Yeah, I did it. Wait a second. I did it before with all of my kids.
I got my bachelor's.
Yes.
And so something had changed clearly. And that narrative that we carry in our minds about success or failure. And so it was interesting because one interview we had someone who admitted they were afraid of success.
Right.
One admitted they were afraid of failure, but they were really the same.
Same. Yes.
So the success was, who am I? And why do I deserve this?
Right.
And am I good enough? And then the fear of failure is just that whole confirmation of all of that.
Right.
That you're not good enough.
Right.
And who are you to think you can do that? I had a friend one time told me that when she was little, she would be dancing and singing around the house, and that her mom would say, "Who do you think you are?" And she just had that realization, and she'd almost blocked it out because, over the years, whenever she would try to perform or do anything, that narrative was running.
It was like,
who do you think you are?
Bring it down a few levels. You don't deserve to be up there. Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah, and and maybe it was just her perspective. Maybe her mom didn't say that. I have some things that I carry around that my
maybe her mom said, "Would you be quiet? I'm on the phone."
Yes, exactly. But we hear that because we get shut down, or we're in a space where we're maybe putting ourselves out there just a little bit. And so it's hard. And so when you are trying to be unstoppable, what we really want is for you to have your best life ever.
Right.
And to have that motivation to do things and we talked about the last show, not fail for 2, but to win for 2. So if you have a child or you have children, win for 3, win for 4, win for your spouse, win for your, the narrative that you're going to teach your children to. All right, so we have a great show, and you want to stay to the very last segment because we're going to give you some very specific things that you can do that will help you with your prioritization of your time. We'll be right back.
I guess what started this entire journey for me was just wanting to look better, wanting to feel better. And I was not happy with how I looked. I wanted my butt to look good in jeans. I wanted shirts to fit right. I wanted to be able to wear my heels and be comfortable. Then I started the CarbMelt and the LipoMelt. I mean, I'm, 4-5 months into this, and I'm still losing weight. It's still happening, it's still coming off. I'm still seeing definition. When I started all this in July, I actually called my doctor's office and got my weight at that appointment, and it was 231. I'm at 189.8. It's been a huge change. I pretty much cancel every plan I ever make just because I don't want to go do anything, and I haven't been canceling things lately. I've been doing stuff. I've been going, and it's strange because I'm not used to going and doing, but I've been going and doing it, and I'm so much happier.
Hi, welcome back to The Naked Doctor. I'm Dr. Tammy.
And I'm Crystal.
We have a great show for you, and we're talking about being unstoppable. This is a 4-part series, and today we're talking about time.
Who has it? Where's it at?
Yeah, where did it go? So when we were talking, Crystal is a fitness expert, and she has her own program, and we are working closely. We've been doing a supplement together, and we've been kind of growing this awareness of how you can live your best life and be unstoppable, getting people to take that next step.
Right.
And so as we were assessing interviews and women, and we were just trying to get this, and men too, we've kind of focused here because we want to have this power for women to get back, because we're the ones who are doing the soccer practice, and we're fixing the meals, and we're
doing
multitasking.
The everything. Yes.
The everything. And we feel this pressure to be like that commercial, you know, I can fry it up in a pan, and you know, was it a perfume commercial that I'm everything,
and so look cute while I'm doing it.
Cute while I'm doing it. And there's all this pressure to perform and to look great, and the little 50s big skirt and Leave It to Beaver. We still carry that with us.
Right. 100%.
And talk about hormones, which I always have to do. We, as the maternal figure, we carry the baby. So we carry for 9 months that sole responsibility, really. I mean, we might have a partner who's like, hey, baby, or, you know, in the delivery suite, you know, like, it's okay. And then we're yelling at them, get the freak out. You know? But we carry most of it. And then we are the nurturers because we're just a little softer with our estrogen and our hormones. And so we're just wired in the most primitive part of our brain to be mama bears and protective and taking care of everything. So we also step into this place, I truly believe, that we kind of lose that sense of ourselves. And so we start looking for that justification because now we're playing small, we're playing big with our kids. And it's funny because all the interviews we've done, people always want to identify with themselves as a mom first.
Oh, first things out of the mouth. Well, I have kids. That's how they identify themselves. Yes, that's when you turn into a mom, that's what you are, a mom. And not only, you said it makes you softer, not only physically or mentally, but it makes you softer physically, because being a mom, you're genetically prone to gain more weight. You know what I mean? Being a female, we carry more fat than men do.
We got to store up to carry that milk.
Right.
We're milking machines. Yeah, it's just crazy. And so then it just kind of becomes, you find excuses for the purposes in your life, which is fine. But sometimes you kind of have to reprioritize a little bit, because if you find yourself going down, 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 not only is it kind of the failing for two, but you're also setting that narrative and that example for your children.
Yes.
And it is a generational, you know, they talk about plastics and stuff, and the chemicals in plastics, the obesogens can go down multiple generations. Well, so can that narrative about this is just what you do. The women just stay home. And I don't want to use the term frumpy, because I've been that girl who's been overweight after my baby.
Right.
And
we all go through it. We all go through it.
All of us. we're not exempt. You know, people
Yes.
look at us and we have all the hair and makeup on and the
I
light.
have some before pictures that would shock you. It would shock you.
Yeah, we talked about that. I don't have any before pictures. And everybody's like, yeah, I don't believe you are ever 60 pounds overweight. And I'm like, yeah, and you'll never know.
No, right. Those are hidden.
Yeah. Next week's show is vulnerability. So we're going to like tell all. So you have to stay tuned for that. So, Crystal, when you were talking to your people and people start using the time because they use it all the time, there's a lot going on that people are spending a lot of time on. And I'm going to let you kind of take that away and tell us.
Okay, so like she said, I run a fitness group. So I talk to multiple women and men daily, you know, about what's going on in your life. What do we need to change? Where can we fit things in? You know what I mean? And everybody's first words, I don't have the time. I don't have the time. I don't have the time. Well, I've gotten to where I've heard that excuse enough that I've learned to break that down. But what does that really mean though? Because none of us have the time. None of us have the time. We are all busy. I don't know one person that I could call right now and say, hey, do you have 2 hours? Do you have 2 free hours right now? No.
You fill the space. It's kind of like my purse.
Yeah.
Like no matter how big a purse or how small, it will be filled.
100%.
You just fill it
yes, I could roll around a suitcase behind me too if I needed to.
Fill it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I've really learned to break that down. You know, what does that mean? What do you mean you don't have time? What do you do? What are things that you do? Tell me what you do during the day. You know what I mean? And one of the biggest things that nobody ever mentions is, well, I spent an hour and a half on Facebook today.
Yeah, nobody would ever admit to that.
Nobody ever says that.
Oh, no, I just glance at it every once in a while.
Well, I had to be at work at 8 and there was traffic and then I needed to get food and then the school called and I had to go get my kid because they were sick and then this and they have 50 things they'll tell me they did throughout the day, but never that they sat there for an hour and a half on Facebook. You know, that's never a thing. So I decided, we should really put that into perspective for people. We should really break that down because that is something that totally slips your mind. It totally slips your mind that is something that's taking up so much time in your life. So what I did was like I said, I had multiple women and men that I talked to daily. So I had a bunch of them send me their numbers. Send me your screen time. In my 1 hour cardio class that I teach, I also had a bunch of people send me numbers and got an average of you burn about 390 calories a class. So let's say 400 calories a class, okay? If we do a 5-day week, Monday through Friday, we're not even going to count the weekend. We're not even going to play with Saturday and Sunday, okay? Monday through Friday, we're on Facebook for 8 hours. Wow. 8 hours. Isn't that insane? Wow. I think that's insane. So if we decided, if someone sits in front of me and says, I don't have the time. I don't have any time to work out.
Them.
Give me your phone. Give me your phone, and I bet this week you'll work out 20 times, you know, because you'll realize, I don't get to sit here in the chair on Facebook. I don't need to sit in bed on Facebook. So if you
fix a healthy meal versus, I got to go through McDonald's because I just don't have time.
Exactly. I just don't have time. I mean, take 20 minutes of your Facebook time and cook your family a zucchini, shrimp, and turkey sausage delicious meal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, if you just spent half of your Facebook time, 8 hours a week, if you cut that in half, that's 4 1-hour workouts. If you cut your Facebook half in time. If you do 4 1-hour workouts a week, in my class, that can equal out to 1,600 calories. You could get up and walk on a treadmill for 30 to 45 minutes and be on Facebook. It's crazy. Yeah. You can sit there, you can walk and scroll at the same time. You know, you can check work emails on the treadmill. You can do all kinds of things. You can still get up and be active.
And your program is a dance. So,
absolutely.
I mean, so it's treadmill. So
it's
if you can dance on a treadmill, you could read
exactly.
Yeah.
You can walk on the treadmill. And if you need to, you know, set your phone on the treadmill. Don't hold it where you're looking down so you fall, you know. There's just so many things that you can twist and manipulate so that you do have time. And Facebook is just one of those things that nobody thinks of. Nobody thinks, I don't lose 40 pounds because I want to be on Facebook. I want to see what Susan's doing on a Tuesday. It's crazy. I mean, if you did 5 1-hour workouts a week, you would still have, if you took your Facebook time and did 5 1-hour workouts a week, Monday through Friday, we're not even touching your weekend. You know what I mean? You would still have 3 hours for Facebook a week. Can you imagine just sitting there for 3 hours? That's a lot of time.
Yeah, it's
3
a lot
hours
of
is
time.
so you're not giving up your Facebook time. You still get it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
We're just utilizing
Yeah.
our Facebook
Yeah.
time. You know what I mean? And you could have burned 2,000 calories, okay? And like I said, that's not even touching your weekend. So that could have been 5-hour workouts right there on your Facebook.
Time is currency. It's money in the bank. It really is. Or that's time you could be studying something or making a hobby or a craft or getting better at your job so you can make more money, all sorts of things. And think about Netflix or any of those shows.
Right.
When you binge watch, I mean, some of those are an hour long and some seasons are 13 hours. And then if you have 3, 4, 5 seasons, I kind of
You'll sit on that couch all weekend. All weekend you'll sit on that couch. You know what else you can do on the treadmill? Watch Netflix.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you can get that in too. Yeah, most people's treadmills are just to hang their clothes on, so get that out. All right, we're going to take a little break and we'll be right back. And we're going to talk how you can prioritize your time, because sometimes it's not just knowing that you have time, but how do you go from that spot where you find that you've got these hours? How are you going to prioritize that? So we're going to do that right when we come back.
I have osteoarthritis, and the arthritis medication that you get regularly will cause your kidney function to go down, and my kidney function had started going down, and so I knew I needed to do something different. I've been seeing Dr. Tammy for about 3 months, and she's been doing stem cells in my knees, and it's like a miracle. She absolutely hits it every time in the correct spot. And I am pain-free now, and I haven't been pain-free for about 10 years. I can go upstairs without pain. It's wonderful. And I send everybody I know to her because she's done such a wonderful job for me, and I just appreciate it so much.
Hi, welcome back to The Naked Doctor. I'm Dr. Tammy.
And I'm Crystal.
We have a great show. We are talking about time.
Okay, let's do it.
Time is money.
Time is money.
We're going to wrap this up, right? Time is currency, for sure.
Right.
It is an energy that we spend and we use. We were talking about sometimes we just come down to, we have bought into the concept that time is just something we use to play small. And not be vulnerable, not to put ourselves out there, to do those things that are our goals, that we could face rejection if we don't get it, or success in that we could be like, who do you think you are, And then, like your little boy said, we were talking about putting yourself out there and being something that might be perceived as bigger than who you are.
Who you think you are.
Who you think you are.
You don't deserve that. Back it down.
And just play small, because it's safe, and it's never too late. That's the point. I'm turning 52 on my next birthday in the spring, and there are people like Oprah who didn't even really get her start till she was in her 50s.
Right.
It's never too late.
It's not.
Sometimes we tell ourselves, I'm too old, or I'm this.
My time has passed. No.
My time has passed.
That's not true.
It is not true. And there's a lady, she's very interesting, Ernestine Shepard. I don't know if you've ever seen her, but her and her sister made a pact then when they were in their 70s that they were going to start bodybuilding. And you can look her up on YouTube or on the internet. She is one of the most fit women on the planet.
Oh my gosh.
I think she's like in her 80s now. Yeah.
Now I have to look her up.
It's crazy. And think about, this is before everybody watching this, probably time before your time. But there was a guy named Jack LaLanne, and he was in his 70s, and he was one of the most fit men on the planet. So, and the more you take care of yourself, the better your hormones are, and the better, tighter your telomeres are. A little nerdy science there, to prevent aging and to be on the cruise ship instead of the nursing home. I mean, think about
the cruise ship instead of the nursing home. That's fantastic. You know, like I've always heard, you know, it's so expensive, but so is medical bills way down the road.
Yeah. Think about what one deductible is with a broken hip or something
and
like
would you
that.
rather be in a nursing home or a cruise ship? I mean, come on. That should put it into amazing perspective to me. I definitely want to be on the cruise ship.
Well, who wants that decreased quality of life? I mean, that's just nothing that any of us plan for.
Right.
But you really have to be conscientious of all the places you're spending your time currency and investing that. And a lot of times in my practice, I have people come in, you know, in their 50s and 60s. Now they're aware of the time that younger people don't really have that concept of time because it seems so abundant and you have so much forward.
Yep. Kind of how everyone tells you your kid grows up in 2 weeks and you're like 18 years and now I'm like, oh my God, he's 10. What happened?
Yeah.
What happened to the time?
It's gone. It's gone. Yeah, it's crazy. I heard a story one time, and if you held out your hands and you put 70 pennies in your hand, if we're lucky, we get 70 birthdays, 70 Christmases, 70 anniversaries.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see 70 pennies. So like at 50 now, I'm down to like 20 pennies if I'm lucky, right? I mean, who knows? I mean, we could all live much longer. I could have 40 pennies left. But if I got 20 pennies left, how am I going to spend them?
Yes.
And you can't get that time back. So, and even if you're at a point in your life where things, you know, you're getting close to retirement, you know, what is that time costing you when you could do that one thing that you could have those memories with your grandchildren instead of sitting there on Facebook or watching Netflix? You could be creating a legacy that will even go further than this carbon expiration date that we've got that will live on with us.
Choosing how to spend your time is, I mean, it's monumental. It really is. Do you live off lists? Do you make lists all the time?
All the time.
I live off a list.
Pages and pages and pages.
Go to my fridge right now. There's 2 lists on my fridge, 2 different schedules. I have my regular schedule and then my schedule that has all the little in-between things I have to do too. Because I have to utilize my time or I won't be able to get it all done. I mean, how many lists do you go through a day?
Yeah.
You're constantly, oh, I got to add that one on my phone and on this, but it helps you achieve so much.
Absolutely. That's good, but you're still making lists for the whole family and and schedules. So that's kind of the next thing that we're going to talk about. But first, let's talk about goals because then that helps you to build your list and your schedules.
Right.
So your why. So there's something called SMART goals. And you'll probably want to write these down if you're recording this show, which I know a lot of people do. You can stop it later and write this down, but it's easy to remember by the acronym SMART.
Right.
So the S stands for specific. So when you're establishing your why, it can't just be because I want to feel better.
Right.
Your why is because maybe you want to put on some nice clothes, or maybe you have those little short wins, or maybe it's like, I want to be more agile so that I don't fall and break a hip, or I want to keep my memory sharp because my family members all had Alzheimer's, or something like that. Right. So very specific. I want to get in some cute clothes. You know, I'm going on a cruise. I hear it all the time. I have a high school reunion.
Right. Oh, all the time.
Yep. So set that. If
or
that
my
helps you
son's
get that
wedding.
one. Yes.
Or
yes.
anything.
We're going on vacation.
Yep.
So the M in SMART is measurable. So a lot of times if you want to, example of that would be if I want to lose 30 pounds, what is realistic? What's my realistic goal in this time frame? So you're not going to like just go out there and say, I want to lose 40 pounds in a month. You know, you have to make that measurable and have something that you can measure back against. So the A is achievable.
Yes.
What's
this one's important.
realistic? It is.
Achievable, I mean, you don't want to make goals that you'll never reach or that's going to shut you down and discourage you in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? You definitely want to make sure you can grab that. It's going to take effort, but you can achieve it. That's a huge one for me.
Yeah. I'm not going to be an Olympic medalist.
Right. I'm not trying to get up there and do a fitness model situation. Yeah. I'm just trying to lose 20 pounds, you know?
Sometimes that is a goal because, you know, sometimes people will lose a lot of weight because they have that thing to work towards.
Right.
So, you know, things that might not seem achievable, you might surprise yourself.
Right. It's great to have a big goal, but you need small, achievable goals to get you there. Yeah.
So R is relevant. It has to be relevant to your life. So
Right.
you're not going to set a goal for something that's not relevant. And a lot of times if you work at a job and someone gives you a goal that's not really relevant, like go over here and, come up all these numbers, or it's something you don't want to do. Because if you don't want to do it,
You won't find the time to do it.
you won't find the time.
You will have no time if it's not relevant. Yep.
Yeah, and so time is a great excuse, that dirty word, but it's
yes.
also not only helps you be safe if you don't have to put yourself out there, but just, can keep you out of stuff you don't want to do too. I don't have the time. And so time specific. So again, that's the T in SMART, is give yourself a time frame to complete that. And a lot of times I'm one of those people that will procrastinate right before the day before I have to do it. So if I don't have that, that kind of crunch, that kind of stress on me, sometimes I won't do that.
Right.
So don't just make it, I want to lose weight. Say how much weight you want to lose, why you want to lose it, when that time frame is.
Right.
And this isn't about weight loss, but that's a great example
Right.
because people can understand
New
that.
Year's is coming. It's going to be, by next year, I want to be 40 pounds. Not by next year. Don't make it a year from now where you have the whole time to say, oh, I got 6 more months to get it in and to get it in check. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And so we already talked about lists. So lists and calendars is another thing.
Big.
Have your calendar, have your time frame. You want to do those kinds of things as well. And the last thing is boundaries. And it's okay to say no. Sometimes you do people you love a disservice, and you're not doing the best thing for you or them when you are saying, okay, I'll do that.
Right.
And you're just spreading yourself so thin, and then you're stressed out and mean, and you're not helping anybody, and you're feeling like a victim to them.
Exactly.
They're feeling bad, and your whole life is just kind of spinning out of control. And I've been that person, and you don't want to not be nice.
Right.
It's been a wonderful week. Thank you for joining us. Please check us out on thenakeddoctorshow.com. We have a Facebook page, The Naked Doctor. We're on Instagram. And just check us out, share, tell us ideas that you might have. And check Crystal out. She's got WorkFit, W-E-R-K.
Yes, W-E-R-K, workfit.co, or we have a Facebook group, Work Fitness, live stream recordings. We are amazing and super motivational, and we'll help you find the time.
Yes. Everybody's got the time. You just got to
Utilize it.
prioritize
Yes.
it, and utilize it. We love you very much. Have a great, blessed week, and be unstoppable. Yes. See you back next week on The Naked Doctor.